welcome back to the channel. Today, you guessed it, we're going to be pouring another sink. But this one, let me get the camera down and let you look at it. You tell me what you think. It's got these little pits in it. See all them little pits? I don't know what that's from. I don't know if it's a type of material the sink's made out of or what it is, but they're all over the sink. All over it. Alright, anyway, obviously we're going to start out with a black base. But then I'm going to mix up some deep brown. Let me show you. It's going to be a draw between these two colors. One of them is, I don't know if you can see that, it's chestnut brown. The other one is deep brown. Anyway, I'm going to pick one of these two colors to put as my main color over top of the black. I might fog a little bit of white on it just to give it some contrast, but then I'm going to take and use a couple different spray paint colors. I'll explain the colors as I'm doing it because I don't know that I'm going to use all of them yet, but let me get my epoxy mixed up and we'll get to pouring this sink. I wish I knew what them little bubbles were. I ain't never seen a sink like that. Anyway, my daylight's burning, and as you guys know, I'm having to do my epoxy work outside because I had to move real quick from the place I was living, and therefore my shop got taken away from me. Anyway, that's beside the point. Let me get this epoxy mixed up and I'll be right back with you. All right, guys, I went with the chestnut brown. That's the color that I chose. I guess I should have said this epoxy that I'm using is a 1-to-1 mix ratio, equal parts of each hardener and resin. And I'm going to use a pretty good amount of this chestnut brown because I want it to be very, very opaque. And if you guys are interested in the epoxy that I'm using, it is Wisebond bar and tabletop epoxy. Wisebond bar and tabletop. I believe it is, if not the top of the line, it is one of the top of the line epoxies on the market. If you're mixing with a paddle like this, make sure you hold on to this container because you don't want it grabbing this container and swinging it. And I wouldn't recommend this epoxy to you guys if I didn't think it was some of the best on the market. This is all I use. I don't use nothing else. And no, they're not paying me a penny to say this. I just believe in the product. To me, it's just that good. All right, let me set that drill out of the way. Get my camera set up a little bit different here. I think I'm gonna take it around the back. Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna start out just by giving my sink a once over, making sure there's nothing on it. God, them pits are driving me crazy. I don't know what they are. As always, I'm gonna start in the back. Get my brush. Yes, I'm using one of them old cheap old brushes. I'm gonna prime it in my, see, and if you've got all this epoxy running down the sink drain like this right here, a little word of advice, don't try to stop it. You're not gonna be able to. It's gonna run down no matter what you do. And just, when I first started this, I used to try to stop it, and it's not going to work. So it's not even worth trying. Just let it run. And call it a loss for that little bit of epoxy. It's not a whole lot, really, to be honest with you. It's not a lot. You want to make sure you get your sides really, really well. You got all this extra epoxy down in the bowl. You can scoop some out and use it. See, like I need some right there. I don't need it on the back yet. You guys know I pour my sinks in 2 pours. One being the main body of the sink and the other one being the backsplash. Okay, I'm gonna get my colors real quick. Okay, we'll get the white, bright copper, and dark copper metallic. And we'll see what that looks like. Not going to use a whole lot of these 3. I always say that and I always end up using more than I want to. Only going to be 3 colors. The white, the bright copper, and the dark copper. Alright. Now, take your stick, and if you curl your stick, you'll be able to work that that epoxy pretty much in any direction you want it. And you want to make sure, if you can, go all the way across your project without stopping, because if you don't want to have a break, and like say right here in the middle, that's not going to look very good, I wouldn't think. And just work it. Basically all there is to it. This is a very, very simple process. Anybody can do it. If you guys want to try it, and if you're needing help, please don't hesitate to get a hold of me and I will help you in any way I can. Okay, let's see. Now see, I think I'm going to use some more of that dark right here. That dark looks good. You want to aggravate this down here. You can pull it up any way you want. I usually use a paintbrush to do it. As a matter of fact, that's what I'm going to use. Pull it up. And it will run down and do its own thing, just like it would if you was spraying it on there and it just naturally ran down. It will naturally do that. You got to make sure you get enough on the back side of the bowl some reason it always gives me a fit. Now I can take some of this brown epoxy and put it on there and let it pull that color down. And it does a nice job of it. Take your excess color and make veins through it. That alone for time being. Now I'm going to take some of my white spray paint. Spray it on my stick. I'm going to drag it up in the back, up close to the backsplash. That allows allows me to get that white up there where I need it. I don't need no more color nowhere else. Let's tell you what, let's put the heat gun on it. Remember, when you fire your heat gun up, do it away from your project. That way, when you fire it up away from it, you don't blow no dust or nothing like that on your project. Trying to get a video out because the next week or so, I don't know what the weather is going to be like because we have this hurricane getting ready to hit Florida. And as of right now, it's projected to come straight across the top of me. I'm not looking forward to that, if I'm being quite honest with you. Plus, my wife's on oxygen. Her oxygen, you know, I got to have electricity all the time for her machine. So that's another worry I have. I apologize for the wind if it's blowing on the microphone. It's kind of windy out here. I think I need a little more white right there. Let's put a little bit more white up front right here. Now's the time you don't want to spray it on your project. You want to spray it on your stick. A little bit right there. All the white I'm going to use. Put some more of the brown on the back. You know, whatever you want to do to something like this, you can do. There's really no set way you have to do something. You can do it any way you want to do it. I like making these veins with the leftover epoxy. I'll show you in a minute. But when you do this, you want to start letting the epoxy run off your brush, off of the side of your project, and then bring it onto your project. See, I'll show you like this right here. Let it start running off, and as it does so, that's when you bring it on your project. Okay, heat gun again. Now let's get this camera down and look at it. Let me know what you guys think about this. that's okay. I mean, it's the colors they wanted. Now, keep in mind now, these colors are they're still going to move. It's not going to stay looking identical to this. They're going to keep moving. So just be aware of that. And you can see right, let's see where it's at, right there, real tiny, faint, dark brown line. That's them lines, some dark spider lines that I put in. I like them, like this right here. I like that. I apologize for the noise. Like I said, I'm having to do this outside. I wish I could get this glare to stop. That's it. All right, guys. And, like I said, them colors are going to keep moving, so don't think that the way it looks right now is the way it's going to look tomorrow, because that's not the case. It's going to look a little different. And if you guys are interested in the epoxy I'm using, Wisebond Bar and Tabletop, they have deep pour epoxy where you can literally pour it 3 inches thick. I've done it. If you're a beginner or not so sure of it, I would do it maybe a ½ inch to an inch at the time. Torch it to get your air out of it. Pour your next layer on there, but when you pour it, you want to pour it slow so you don't entrain too much air. Another thing, they have mica powders. They have, let me show you. They have these base colors that come in a packet like this right here. It's a Wisebond dye, opaque epoxy pigment. Let me show you what they come in. They come in these little bottles like this right here. This happens to be poison ivy, green. 2 drops out of this right here it'll completely make it opaque to where you can't see through it. Just 2 drops. You can't, and the price you just can't beat the price. The epoxy, I believe for a 1 gallon kit, I believe it's $63, if I'm not mistaken. But if you guys go, and they got tools, they have reusable mixing sticks, they have reusable cups. I know the cups and stuff you get at Home Depot, of course you can clean them out and reuse them, but these, they're thicker. When the epoxy in them dries, you squeeze it, you pop it loose, pull it out just like another cup, wipe it out, it's ready to go. It's not going to bust or crack like your regular mixing cups will. Okay. If I can find the link to where I got this mica powder, I will put it in the description box below. But Wisebond has the same colors. They have any color you can think of, just about they have it. In mica, they have alcohol ink, the mica powder, they have the base dyes, they have deep pour, bar and tabletop, all kinds of stuff. And like I said, there will be a link in the description box below to their website. If you go through that link, I can get you 10% off your total price, whatever you purchase, as long as you put that discount code in, which is Kellogg10, KELLOGG10. And don't forget to tell them Robert Kellogg sent you, please. Hopefully they'll give me a break on price when I buy stuff from them, because I buy a lot of stuff from them. I don't know why they shouldn't. Anyway, there it is, guys. I mean, simple as that. Real quick, fast. I mean, it's nothing. This was simple because it was just one base color and 2 or 3 different colors on there. The design was simple to do. You just apologize for that. My battery died in my camera. But anyway, go to their website, check them out. You'll be surprised at the prices they have for the quality of product you get. There's no other way to say it. Also, I'm going to try to do a video next week, but I've got this storm coming in, so I don't know what's going to happen with it. So be on the lookout for that. It's either going to be, I might have another sink to do. I'm not for sure yet. that's up in the air still. I have a bed frame I'm building. It's a floating bed frame I'm building for my son. And I've also still got this coffee table, this barn style coffee table that I'm building. So be on the lookout for that video. You guys got any ideas for videos? Put them in the comment section below, please. I'd appreciate it. I'd like to, see what you guys want to see from this channel. And if I've deserved it, please give me a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button. Always get yourself subscribed. And hit the notification bell. Check the little all box. That way when I do have a video coming out, you'll get notified about it and you won't miss it. I've got some pretty good sized plans coming for this channel, and I'm trying to work in woodworking as well as the epoxy, but I'm getting the feeling that it's not accepted too well. Would you guys please let me know in the comments below if that's something you guys would be interested in. I hope so, because I really enjoy woodworking. That's one of my passions, as epoxy is. I love to do it, and just please let me know. I don't want to give you guys something you don't want to watch. That's the bottom line right there. But anyway, check out some of my other videos. I got plenty of sink videos. I've got other different types of videos. I'd appreciate you check them out. Share all this on your social media with all your friends. Until the next time, I love you guys. Be safe. If you're in the path of this coming storm, please get prepared. If not, get out of the way of it. I love you guys. Peace.